Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to share these fall crafts with you all. I have been working on this for a few weeks now, and I want to do more neutral colors for my fall decor and still keep in some pops of orange. I love the pops of orange for fall. Normally before, my fall decor was very heavily orange colored, which is still very pretty. I still love that, but I wanted a new look, so I decided to make over a lot of the pumpkins that I have already to give them a nice refresh for the look that I'm going for. Here are the paint colors. I'll list them down below or link them if I can if you guys are interested. If I remember right, I believe most of these are under $1, the Craft Smart, and then the Deco art is normally around $2. We also have a paintbrush here and some sheetrock. Here they are. I put the paint on the trays there so you could see. I'm starting with putting the sheetrock on this pumpkin. This is a pumpkin I've had for a few years that I had gotten from the Target dollar spot, and I'm just smearing some sheetrock around it, trying to make it into all the crevices here, cover up the whole thing. I did let it dry overnight. I'm smoothing it all in the direction that I want it to go. This will give it some very pretty texture. There are other ways that you can make, the texture different. You could put some netting on there if you want to make kind of a pattern, or you could drag a fork through it if you want some lines going. We're going to put this on a few of the pumpkins. Here, this one, I have a thinner layer and I'm just like dabbing my hand on it, and it's giving a different texture as well. And I did that to a couple of them. It kind of gives off like an older look, like a worn look after we're done painting. I decided to also do the fabric pumpkin as well. I really like how it took to it. We'll see that soon when it's all finished. But I used to do a lot of decorating with the buffalo check, the black and white, and I wanted a different look. I I love my fall decor, and I don't want to just keep replacing it, so I thought it'd be better to refinish it, craft it, make it look a little different. You could take a paper towel and smear the paint on if you want, or you could dab it on. This, I'm just trying to get the whole pumpkin covered, so I think smearing the paint around with the paper towel was good. You could use a paintbrush if you want. And now I just picked some different colors from the palette there and started dabbing it on. And you could do it as much as you want until you get the look as you want. You literally can't mess up on the look of these. You could paint over it if you don't like how it looked, but I am loving the look of those. Please let me know what you guys think down below. I can't wait to hear from you guys. I decided to paint the buffalo check pumpkins too to see how the paint took to them. So if you guys were interested or wondering how paint would take on your fabric, that's how it would look. But I think I like the sheetrock over it a lot, so I think I'm going to finish those pumpkins with the sheetrock. But this pumpkin, I decided to put some paint on there, smeared around with my gloves to give it this nice unique look. I wiped off the excess paint that was around the stem there, and that is what it looked like dry after the first coat. And I'm going to do one more. This is how it looks. I'm loving the look of it. I have these acorns here that I had got from Hobby Lobby in a pack. And again, I want to paint these too. So I painted the orange ones and the white ones. I left the green ones as is because they come in a set of the green, white, and orange with some pine cones. So this is how I decided to style them. There they are, the acorns all painted nice and pretty. I love the colors that they are. Now I'm just painting my pumpkins, different colors that's on the palette here. Most of them will be different. There'll probably be about 2 of each color on there. but we want a nice variation of the pretty neutrals. Here they are all painted. I ended up doing 2 coats because the first coat was too thin. You could still see underneath of it. Here's the acorns. I ended up doing 2 coats on the acorns as well. Just love how everything is turning out. I'm putting the lines on the pumpkins. You could choose whatever paint color you want, whatever you think will go pretty together. I did different ones for the different colors. Added a little bit on the stem as well because I did paint the stems on the pumpkins too. And then you could add some paint on your paintbrush and just do as so you can get some splatters on there if you wanted the splatters. And this is a fabric pumpkin. I love how this fabric pumpkin turned out, the one that I put the sheetrock on. There it is. That's why I think I'm going to do the other ones just the same because I love that. Gives it a nice rustic look. It's very pretty. Now these I love the color of, but I wanted to tone down the stems a little bit, so I just painted both of the stems. Here they are with all of the lines on them and splatters. Now if you splatter too much, you could always just take a wet paper towel and wipe it off. Just make sure your pumpkins are fully dry before you add the splatters and the lines. And you could always add the lines first if you wanted, but I added the lines and then I went back and added some of the original pumpkin color that I did, the base of it, over some of the lines to make it look more natural. But there is a way of styling. You could add some leaves and pumpkins, put them in a basket, use them for the bowl filler, just set them around in different places. Now here I mixed the fog gray and the burnt orange for that muted orange color. I wanted a bigger textured one that was that pretty color. So give it a nice big mix. Add some more of each color if you need more paint. Here I am just trying to get it brushed on quickly. Also do the stem. I was kind of trying to go for that pottery barn terracotta look. And I added the baking soda. I've seen this somewhere with the terracotta pumpkins, but I decided to try it on this pretty textured one. Just add some paint over the baking soda. My paint was still a little bit wet, so I'm just brushing some of the paint on top of it. I'm trying to get the right angle for the camera, so my arm is out of the way. Just lightly brushing it. I love the way that it looks. Everything, I'm just so happy with everything, how it's all looking. I really hope you guys like it all. I hope you're inspired and want to get out your crafts and make over anything that you're not feeling anymore. Maybe you're kind of over the look of it, and maybe you're ready to give it a nice upgrade. And I tried not to buy as many supplies as possible. All I remember, let's see, I bought the paints. I already had the sheetrock from, we use that at home. That's something we keep at home. I did buy this Quikrete. I bought 3 bags. We're gonna make some pumpkins, some Quikrete pumpkins. I only ended up using 2 bags, and I ended up using an old fitted sheet and I cut it up into pieces. They're kind of larger pieces. I think I made 5. I cut it into 5 pieces, and you mix the Quikrete up, you follow the directions. I actually didn't really measure the water. I added what I thought it needed and just roll the Quikrete up in this piece of the fitted sheet that I cut. I had seen actually people do this before with tights, but like I said, I didn't really want to buy supplies. So to make these pumpkins, I wanted to just use something at home that I didn't use anymore as the fabric, and it worked out great. Just fill it up, wrap it up, tie a knot at each end. This actually came in handy that it had the straps on that end because it was pretty thick there to tie the knot. And then you take some jute and try to make some dents into your pumpkins. Well, I used jute string. If you have any other string that would work, that's fine too. And just make like 4 or 5 strings that goes across, or 6, however many dents that you want in your pumpkins, the lines. And also, a thing that I had noticed is these were they were a little plump, but not so tall. So if you wanted taller pumpkins, I'm thinking that because, the concrete will flatten out. So if you wanted them to be taller, I'm thinking you can, still put it together and then maybe stick it inside of a bucket and let it dry so it doesn't collapse. But I love the way all these turned out. This one actually looks a little funky, like it's a real pumpkin that grew a little weird, but I love it. So this I let dry overnight. I did this in the evening, and then this is the next morning when I took the fabric and the jute string off. Here they are. They dried perfectly. I love how they look. I decided to paint 3 orange and 2 of the neutral color. I did the base color, put some lines on it, and then got the base color back out again to go over some of the lines to try and blend it nicely. And then I grabbed the stick from the backyard. I cut it up with the saw, and I would just say be cautious as to make sure there are no bugs in your branch. You can glue these on with some E6000 and super glue. I would like to, when I get real pumpkins, keep the stems and remove these and put the new stems on, like the actual pumpkin stems. So I really want to give that a try. So these are going to be temporary until I do get my hands on some real pumpkins. Now I have this tree. I wish I would have shown what it looked like before. There was these little white flowers on it that I actually removed. The base was broken. It used to have a base. I believe I got that from Kohl's many years ago. I've had that for quite a while. I just took these leaves off of this bundle here, this fall bush. I love the neutral color of them, so I did have these already. I just took them off of there and I placed them on these branches. They wouldn't fit over the lights, but they fit on these ones, and I just bent them over a little bit. So I'm going to do that with several of the branches and the leaf pile that's sitting here. Just trying to space it out a little bit because I want it a little scarce. I don't want it too full. This is an empty ribbon holder, and just place it in the bottom with some paper. This is a Hearth and Hand vase that I have. That way it'll help the tree stay in place. Here I'm just tracing the opening of the vase onto some cardboard, and then I'm going to cut it out. Erase any pencil markings you got on your vase. Just trying to eye it up and see if it's going to fit there properly. So I'm going to cut the center out to wrap around the tree. I ended up having to break it. It was just better to break it. I think it's going to fit better there. These are some coffee grounds that are dried. They're used and they dried. I added some glue, some school glue to it. Mix it up nice and good. Now we're going to take these grounds and put it on the cardboard pieces. And this is what we have. The glue this will take a while to dry. I was very impatient and did not want to wait for it to dry. So it is coming up, but if you wait long enough, it will dry and it will stay there. But one thing I did notice is that when it does dry fully, it kind of separates a little bit. So put more coffee grounds on there than you think you need, or if you wanted to, you could always go back and add more. But I had to cut some of it off and place it in here nicely. So I did it this way because I don't want this to be permanent. I don't want to leave this tree in this vase forever. I just want to do it during the fall time. And this is what it looks like. I added some more coffee grounds on top, so that way it was covering anything that we didn't want to see. And there it is, all pretty, all lit up. I love the way it turned out. I hope you guys found inspiration in this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I encourage you to look through your fall decor and see if there's anything that you don't want. Maybe just giving it a makeover, a nice refresh will be just what you're looking for. You can match it very easily to match your aesthetic that way as well. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. This video took quite some time to sort through. I took way too much footage. In the future, I will be much more mindful to get it out to you guys much sooner. But thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.